Hi and welcome to the Forest of Arden. My name is Chris Ryan and today we're going to show you the 3 most common reasons why you will be topping or thinning the golf ball from the fairway. So welcome back to the Forest of Arden, and in this video we're going to show you 3 reasons that you may top or thin the golf ball. So we've all been there. It's a horrible feeling, isn't it? It often comes after a fantastic drive. You might rip it straight to the middle of the fairway, be left with maybe a mid-iron into the green and thin or top the ball along the ground. Really demoralising. You often feel embarrassed in front of your friends. And as I say, we're going to cover 3 reasons why that might happen. Your job following this video, if you do struggle with that shot, is to go to the practice area and try and establish which of those 3 you fall into. You may well unfortunately fall into 1 or 2 of these, and then you can start to apply the correct fix. So what is a thin or a top shot? Well, very simply, it's the leading edge of the golf club striking the equator or even above the equator of the golf ball. Therefore, we don't present any of the club's loft to the golf ball, and often they go straight. And in some cases, if there's nothing between you and the green, that ball can often roll all the way up onto the green and actually not be too bad a result. But if you've got maybe a hazard to go over, water, long rough, it's not really going to get the job done. So number 1 reason why you might be topping the golf ball is that your golf ball might be positioned too far forward in your stance. So if you can imagine, I've got my 6-iron here, and effectively when I swing this golf club, that club is going to move in a big circle around my body. That's the golf swing. Now that circle has a bottom to it, a low point. And what we generally would find is if I can get that low point to make contact with the ground, such as I did there, if I place the golf ball at that point, I'm going to get a pretty decent strike. Now with the irons, we tend to like to see that low point slightly target side of the golf ball. That's how we generally hit the ball the best. But if I use, and this is going to be a very extreme example, I appreciate that, but if I take my setup here, you can see how the golf ball is well forward in my stance. It's kind of almost middle of my lead foot. So if I swing my club around my body and make that circle that we just demonstrated, my golf club is going to come down and it's going to reach the bottom of its circle around about here, so roughly the middle of me. That's not exact, but roughly the middle of me. And once my club reaches the bottom of its circle, it's going to begin to work more upwards. And when it works more upwards, I'm going to catch the top of the golf ball. So if the golf ball is positioned too far forward in your stance, your club will reach the bottom of its circle too early, it will begin to rise, you will either thin or you will top the golf ball. So the number 1, or the first I should say, not necessarily the number 1, but the first reason that you may well be topping your iron shots is if the golf ball is positioned too far forward. Now, the second reason that you might be topping your iron shots is very, very much linked to the first reason. It's almost the same problem, but creating it in a different way. So we said the ball too far forward would create that top shot. Now, if I took my setup, I should say here, and I've now got my golf ball positioned exactly where I want it in my stance, just ahead of centre with this mid-iron. That setup should indicate that my bottom of my circle is going to happen just in front of the golf ball. But if I'm the golfer who has too much lateral movement in the backswing, I shift too much weight over onto this trail side, and as I swing down, I keep my weight on my backside, effectively, the ball position has now been moved further forward. It's not because the ball has moved forward, it's because I've moved back, but I've created that same relationship. So the bottom of my circle is now going to happen again before the golf ball. The club is then going to start ascending, start rising, and it's going to catch the equator or even above the equator. So the second reason that you might be topping or thinning your iron shots is if you're hitting the golf ball with excessive weight on your trail leg, which effectively moves your head and your upper center away from the target. Low point happens before the golf ball, and then you swing upwards onto the ball and you top it. If you feel that is you, the telltale sign would be very often that you finish with your weight on your back leg, or you'll often see that your trail heel will start to spin out away from the target. So if that is you, what you need to ensure is you need to feel, this would be the key, it's not necessarily the reality, is you need to feel that the buttons on your shirt and your belt buckle at impact are both in front of the golf ball. This is not necessarily what would actually happen. Your belt buckle may well be, your buttons might be a little bit more in line with the ball, but the feeling for you if you're too much weight on your back leg, would be to really feel as if you're shifting your body and your pressure in front of the golf ball. That's going to move your low point target side of the ball. That's definitely going to help you strike it if you are struggling with that top shot. The final reason that you could well be topping your shots from the fairway would be if your arm structure changes through impact. What do we mean by that? Well, as I take my setup, you'll notice that my arms are pretty straight. If, as I deliver the club to the ball, I have got some flex in my arms, that's going to raise the golf club up. It's going to pull the club head in towards me. I shorten the radius of that circle that we've spoken about in this video, and I'm increasing the likelihood of me topping that golf ball. So many of the people I see who do struggle with these shots will often have the arms retracting, pulling into their body as the way through. And when we look at it on camera, they see this and they generally hate that look to their golf swing. We always see that kind of grimace when they look through and they see this kind of movement through here. So a great way for you to work on this is to really feel that you're squeezing your elbows together through impact. So through impact, I feel like I'm squeezing my elbows together. If I squeeze my elbows together, that helps me feel as if I'm almost pushing my hands down away from my sort of buttons on my shirt, if you like, and that's getting my arm structure to be similar at address to what it was at impact. I want to feel like I maintain arm structure for a good 3 to 4 feet post impact. After that, my arms are both going to flex into that nice finish. So if you feel this is you, your arm structure is changing, you're seeing that flex in the arms, you're shortening that radius, my advice to you would be to hit mini shots where you're trying to hold your finish, where you're really trying to feel that you're pushing those arms away, elbows are squeezing together, you're keeping that radius and you're keeping that structure in your arms. This is only going to be achievable if you're maintaining a good amount of rotation through the ball. Notice how my belt buckle is facing the target, my buttons are facing the target. The rotation in my body allows me to keep the arm structure. If I don't rotate at all through the impact area, I've generally got two options. Number one, the club head is going to flip over, ball will go left, or number two, the arms are going to start to flex in order for the club to continue on its journey. This is by far the most common one that we see. So let's go ahead and hit one down this 16th. I've got a 6 iron, which on this 400 odd yard par 4 is probably not really the club off the tee, but I'm sure we'll be able to hit the fairway. So I'm going to try and make sure that my ball position is correct. I've got pressure on my lead side at impact, and I'm maintaining my arm structure through the contact area. Do those things and you will be able to strike the ball just like that one, I'm sure. Just don't hit 6 irons off 420 yard par 4s, because you're going to have a pretty long shot as your second one. Right, thank you very much for watching. I really hope that helps. If that video does not apply to you, if you are not that golfer topping or thinning your iron shots, you're hitting the ground before the ball, stay tuned, because in 2 days' time there is a video on 3 reasons that you may well be hitting the ground before the ball. So this video and Wednesday's video hopefully going to cover everybody out there who's misstriking their irons. Usual stuff is below, as always, comments box, like button, and there is also a link over here, that's my logo. Click on that, that will allow you to be a free subscriber of my channel. Would love to have you along for the ride. Thanks for watching, we'll see you again soon.